The Monte Carlo Historic Rally has already passed the stage of tradition to become an institution. With more than 300 crews at the start, the success of the event grows year after year. In 2014, this is the 17th edition of the rally that takes place on the roads of the Drôme, Ardèche, Isère and the hinterland. An edition that commemorates the 50th anniversary of the victory of Paddy Hopkirk and his Mini in 1964. A celebration as well for those who were at the origin of the rally at the beginning, bringing together competitors from round the world from 6 starting cities converging on the Principality of Monaco and facing the famous night of Turini. But we're not there yet. The longest and most selective part is the concentration stage that starts in the Swedish capital. 10 crews made the choice of Stockholm to enter this event. The start is given by the first world champion in the history of rallying, Björn Falterkard. The road will be long and snowy in the direction of the first staging point, Göteborg, where competitors will merge with the contingent who raced from Norway. With 2,140 kilometers to run, 10 other crews take the road an hour later from the Norwegian capital, Oslo, where Andreas Mikkelsen, who drives a VW in the WRC, is in the role of the starter of this concentration section. As in Stockholm, a small crowd's gathered to admire the venerable cars as they enter the competition. It's without a doubt at the foot of the starting podium in Glasgow, Scotland, that the crowd is the most impressive. There are 8 competitors who set out for 2,070 kilometers of rallying and a channel crossing to boot. There's Paddy Hopkirk, winner of the Monte Carlo in 1964, at the wheel of a Mini who's brandishing the national flag. There are also several hundreds of faithful followers who've come to celebrate. 24 hours later, it's at Reims that we find a third of the entries to this 2014 historic rally. With a little over 1,000 kilometers on the program, from the Place du Forum, 104 cars take to the road.
Alors là, vous allez voir une très belle Porsche,
Among them, Renault Classic drivers commemorate 50 years of the R8 Gordini. We'll hear more about that later.
À l'époque, applaudissements mesdames et messieurs, on lui souhaite un superbe rallye. Et on enchaîne.
With 130 crews on the entry list, it's the start from Monaco which is the most successful. 950 kilometers are run to join the town of Die in the Drôme, the meeting point of this concentration stage. Members of the Barbajoan team are true to form, from Pierre Casiraghi, the son of Princess Caroline of Hanover, with his second participation, to Gerard Brianti, who will defend the title he earned last year, through to Daniel Elena. But also Yves Joanny from Entraigues, participating this year in the rally with his son Eric and celebrating the 50th anniversary of his legendary restaurant in the Ardèche.
La remise, donc, qui sera un grand moment demain soir. Comme politique, la robe d'ouverture que la couleur du jaune et du noir sur l'ensemble de ces voitures historiques.
From the street corner to the ends of the world, we also remember Monaco's Jean-François Fauchille, who left us too soon to arrive penalty-free at Navigator's Heaven. The world of rallying doesn't forget what constitutes its base, its foundations, the passion behind the wheel, factory or amateur driver on the side of the road under an assistance tent, spanner in hand. The lowest common denominator of all is the recognition of the greats.
pour
souhaite une bonne route. Ah,
ce
0 pour y aller.
garçon, donc 25 ans, que l'on salue.
Daniel Elena, 9 times Navigators World Champion, and this year again behind the wheel alongside his friend Olivier Campana, who probably won't argue to the contrary.
Belle performance. Un directeur de course dans la course.
The most southerly of the starting cities for this concentration stage remains Barcelona, in the absence this year of Marrakesh. 1,050 kilometers awaiting the wheels of this mini #1, commemorating the victory of Paddy Hopkirk in '64. But it will also be one of the great stories of this Monte Carlo Historic 2014.
Germà del Carlos Sainz, Adolf Alsina, un dels pilots catalans, dels copilots catalans.
Direction D in the Drôme, before facing the first RZ or regularity zone, which runs as a prologue through the Col de Charaçon and the Col de Gaudissart, a 7-kilometer stretch where the snow decorates the road. After the night, the snow, the fatigue of these hundreds of kilometers run over long hours. The crews have one thing in mind: to park their car on the Champ de Mars in Valence, spend a few minutes under a hot shower, and to get some well-deserved sleep. Also in Valence, the crowd takes advantage of this Saturday afternoon to welcome the competitors. A surprise for tired crews, His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco has come to greet notably his nephew, engaged for the second time this year in the historic rally, and the crews of the Principality, with a simplicity and good humor which are part and parcel of the fundamentals of the event. The Monegasque crew are tired, but still sharp at this early stage in the rally.
L'année dernière, c'était un coup d'essai et ça s'est plutôt bien fini.
Last year it was a trial run and it went well because we finished 7th overall. This year we'll try to do as well or better. But the first regularity zone was difficult because it was 100% snow and we had no snow at all on the concentration stage. There was some snow at the start and I got off to a pretty average start, but at the second checkpoint I was happy because we were at 0. Now we'll see. There are still 12 or 13 RZs to go. It's still a long way.
Il reste encore 12 ZR ou 13 ZR à faire, c'est encore long quoi.
Gérard Brianti and Sebastian Scholl, winners in 2013, know the road to success is long, and keeping his crown is probably even more difficult.
Non, j'ai pas de pression.
No, I have no pressure. We're taking it easy. If it works, it works. We'll do what it takes. But for the moment, we participate. We're having fun. It was a nice section this morning. You have to be patient, not to get too over-enthusiastic. We're going to apply ourselves, but you need some luck. Luck that the car holds out, and the navigator and me. Those are the three ingredients.
Moi. Voilà les 3 ingrédients.
Member also of Team Barbazan, Pierre Casiraghi, has fallen in love with the Monte Carlo Historic Rally. Because after a test run 12 months ago, he's back at the wheel of an Auto Bianchi A112 Abarth, assisted by Carlo Borromeo.
Très fatigant.
It was very tiring last night. I couldn't rest much before coming. I was already up very early the night before, so it's really long. It's more than 24 hours, so it's very tiring.
Ça fait plus de 24 heures, donc c'est très fatigant.
The passion for motorsport is often a family affair, and there are countless examples on the list again this year. Pascal Aimé, father, and Morgan, the son, Stephanie Mother, leaving the passenger's seat of the Autobianchi A112 Abarth for good cause. In the Ricordier family, André is taking his daughter on board his Fiat X19 Deroni for the first time this year. Michel and Louis Chabron, father and son, will also share some magic hours aboard the BMW 2002. I'm happy to have my son with me in the car. It's friends, it's good times, it's sharing. It's what you can expect today. The people here love what they do. They're exceptional moments, and we're lucky to be part of the family. The restaurant business is a big family. The drivers are a big family. Car lovers are a big family. These are things that make or create big families. That's what we are, and it's great.
500 mètres, tu auras le virage juste après là. Descends sur la gauche. Allez, c'est pas grave, allez, allez. T'es bien, t'es bien.
When I started the rally, he said to me, "It's the only time when you're not going to correct me or yell at me if I do something wrong. So take advantage of it." So that's good. In the specials, when I say, "Come on, you've got to go," he goes. And he told me it's me who does all the work. So we took some risks, and with the risks come the possible mishaps. And that's what happened. We managed to get the car running again. I had to get my hands into the snow. But it was cool. We had fun in the snow, sliding all over the place. These first hours of the 2014 Monte Carlo Historic have already produced their share of anecdotes. This will no doubt be the case for this Polish crew in the Porsche 911, where tradition is perpetuated through the generations.
I was here before many times, and usually driving with my father. That was the setup we usually did. But this year, due to some medical problems, my father wasn't ready at that point, so we decided that we change the team. And I've had the chance to run with my daughter in Polish rally for a historic rally in Poland. And it went very well, so we decided that we can give it a go.
11 to my dad that he he let me be here with him and do this great experience. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
When you push the family experience to the extreme, we arrive at the Morenons. This year, the father, known as Papi, drags along in his wake Madame, as well as son Didier and daughter Adelaide. Back in Valence, how's the family? The family's well, as all three of us are here at this point. My son is somewhere, I'll find him, and my daughter is here. I've been doing this for a long time, and I said to the kids, I don't know if it'll continue much longer, so this year we had to do one rally together. We've already done it as a duo, but never with 3 cars. All the kids are in the cars, except for the youngest one, who doesn't have her license yet, and she'll be getting it soon. We decided to run together to make some great memories. The arrivals in Valence follow minute after minute from Oslo, Stockholm, Glasgow, Barcelona or Monaco, as we conclude the concentration stage. More than 300 cars eventually arrive at the Parc Fermé for a night's break before the start of the classification stage. At the same time, we greet the first triple play of the rally, made up of a Beetle, a Porsche 911 and a Toyota Celica. These are the 3 crews who pulled the right straw this Saturday in the first RZ between the Cime de Mar and the Col de Godizard. Sunday, and it's early to rise for the lower numbers, those who'll open the route during the day, with on the program major classics such as Le Moulinet-Entraigues and Burzet-Saint-Martial, early in the day. There's no respite for competitors who have just enough time to stop in the Ardèche at Saint-Agrève before attacking two other monuments of the event, La Louvesque-La Bâtie d'Andorre and La Mastre-Quilhoc-Alboussière. But let's get back to the beginning of this stage and this traditional stop in the village of Entraigues-sur-Volane. For 50 years here, the soul of the Monte Carlo Rally has been expressed through a glass of water and a piece of apple pie, prepared with the love for simple things. This year, the boss had to be at the wheel of a Lancia Fulvia, but the Italian engine spoiled the party. Nevertheless, his friends were here for this communion in what's become a place of worship. It's a magnet. There's a magnet that means we're attracted by a little banal story that Jean-Claude Androuet stopped for a meal and met the restaurant owner, who received him very warmly. And as Androuet was already a myth himself at the time, his friends came with him for a drink or to have something to eat. And we were taken in. Mayonnaise. This is not quite the house specialty. A smile on the lips and heart in hand, they go with other more healthy foods, with the spirit of an era. For me, rallying and the advice of friends, it was part and parcel. Why drive? Your tires, petrol, money, and risk an accident at night. As long as you get a good score of 1 or 2 times, that's okay. The rest of the time, to the contrary, the people are so happy to be with us, to talk with us, and we're so happy to be with them. The philosophy of the rally, even at a global level, is that of a Jean Ragnotti, who also remains an icon of the sport, in the same way as this famous Renault 8 Gordini, or Edmond Simon, the sorcerer of Bourg-Saint-Andréol, Bruno Sabi, François Delacour, Ari Vatanen, the cast of a Rally-Woodian super production, just there for friendship. For me, Johnny represents the 80s when I was an amateur. I arrived in the restaurant and everything went quiet. I was embarrassed. I put my head down. There was Walter Roll in one corner, a fire in the fireplace, an atmosphere, and I had the impression I was in a kind of place of worship. It was incredible. I didn't dare look at anyone. My navigator dug me in the ribs and said, "It's Walter Roll. It's Walter Roll," who was in the restaurant. Since, it's become a habit to stop in this place. And today, unfortunately, taken by the time and the efficiency of the modern world, we don't have the time to stop like that anymore. It's a little bit like the last of the Mohicans. This La Remise at Entraigues, and we had to meet here again last night. We had a memorable time. And yes, because the day before, there was a party at La Remise, but Yves Joanny wasn't at the piano. A bit sad, it's true, due to his premature retirement. No, that evening, the concert was given by the solists of Nice Matin and Radio Monte Carlo, Jean-Louis Filk and Marc Canonne, just like during the great nights of the Turini. The champions were in the room, not absolved perhaps, but a small hint of nostalgia for the bygone era.
On s'aperçoit que
You notice that the people here were here 30 years ago. They have anecdotes and have a deep passion. I'd say the difference between this and other disciplines is the closeness. I remember at the time when we would run reconnaissance here, the spectators asked us to take them in the car, and we did. It was unique. They talk about that, and we feel that we made them happy. That's the essence of rallying.
Et c'est ça l'ambiance du rallye.
Tu veux un café ou un tarte de pomme ou qu'est-ce que...
When we hear it, it's very nostalgic, and we have a need for nostalgia. We have a need to remember where we came from. And when we see a place like this and see the old cars around us, it's a life that's around us here, a life. We all dreamed about it and still dream. If we have no more dreams or passion, life is over.
S'il n'y a plus de passion, s'il n'y a plus de rêve, alors la vie, c'est fini.
The passion and the dream are still present on the roads of the Monte Carlo, and life goes on. After the water of Vals, the apple pies, and a few good shared emotions, the historic rally continues as well. Direction Burzet, Saint-Martial, then the market square of Saint-Agrève. If there's one place where we wouldn't be too upset with the spectators if they put snow on the road, it's in the historic, with 50 kilometers per hour average to comply with at all times in areas of regularity. Drivers have to have a light foot and the eye riveted on the instruments. The Burzet, Pascal and Morgan Aimé were 21st with 63 points, which is a great achievement for this newly formed crew. Among the leaders, the gaps are minimal between the occupants of the podium. Tied on 19 points behind, the Norwegian Granerud and defending champion Gerard Brianti put in the second best performance. But the best in this area remains the Monegasque Silvio Perlino and his Lancia Fulvia. They're fighting down to the tenths of a second at these early stages. At this moment, passing by the neutralization of Saint-Agrève, the standings are led by the Italian Giordano Mozzi at the wheel of another Fulvia, preceding Granerud in the Porsche, and the Opel Kadett of Raymond Durand running this year with Joseph Lambert. I was gambling on the right choice of tyres, and for the moment we've not been able to put it to effect, but the road's still long. We still see big crowds here on this square in Saint-Agrève. It's pure happiness. As they attack the second part of the day, there are those who benefit simply from the present moment, or those who are living a special occasion. Since I was little, he promised me we'd do the rally, and here I am at the age of 18 doing my first Monte Carlo. Nice birthday gift for Morgan, the youngest participant in the event this year. If there was more snow, it'd be better, but it's okay. According to the latest classification, we're running 10th. Last night we were 43rd. It's a nice comeback. Unfortunately, this early afternoon we have to go without Daniel Elena, retiring in the third regularity zone with a mechanical problem. The Monegasque crew, however, still will continue the rally out of competition just for fun. 9 times winner of the World Rally Championship with Sébastien Loeb, Daniel was at least looking for a place on the podium. It won't be for this year. It's back to Tournon, then Valence for the Parc Fermé that will close this ranking stage. But before that, we'll have to cross 2 regularity zones between the Drôme and the Ardèche, passing by Louvalesque, La Bâtie d'Andorre, Lamastre and Gilloc-Alboussière. Towns that have resonated to the sound of the Monte Carlo Rally for almost a century and add to its magic and international reputation. The public's always present on the roadside to greet and encourage competitors who return the favor with a few slides to the extent that they're possible. Navigator with Henri Toivonen, Bjorn Valdegaard, Juha Kankkunen and Ari Vatanen. With Daniel Elena, one of the most successful navigators, is sitting in the left seat of the Mini No. 1, a right-hand drive. This man is Fred Gallagher, who, with Andrew McAlpine, is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the victory of Paddy Hopkirk and the Mini.
You know, it was the little car, which was great, but it was a powerful car because of what Cooper did. But I think also there was a guy called Stuart Turner, who was the team manager of this Mini team, and he brought so many techniques into rallying for the first time, which the big teams in WRC use today. I think he was the first one to think about the opening cars to tell the conditions. So the Mini team it had great drivers, great team management, great organization, and as we saw that they won three Monte Carlos. You don't do that by luck. In 1964, Paddy Hopkirk, who won that rally, he lived in the house directly opposite my house. He lived 50 meters from me, and so we knew him, we knew what he did, and we followed every meter of the way, his fight with the Ford Falcons, and then the final morning when he had to do well on the circuit, let's say, but not be the fastest still to win. And every moment of that rally lived with me forever. And you know, Paddy Hopkirk was a great inspiration, you know, from me coming from Northern Ireland like him, and my father loved rallies, my father loved motorsport. He competed in rallies at an amateur level, and you know, he inspired me too. So when I got my driving license, there was no question to do something different but to do rallies.
While the front runners are arriving at the Parc Fermé, the bigger numbers are still